What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of the Forgotten Race Review. Today, at the request of the Black Dragon disciple, Michael Baker, we'll be covering our first ever third-party race, the Maenad, which appears in Psionics Unleashed, published by Dreamscarred Press. If you have a request for this series or any other series, be sure to throw it down in the comments below and we'll get right on it. Also remember, guys, henceforth, if you're a patron, your requests cut the line. Hey, speaking of patrons, this episode of the Forgotten Race Review was brought to you in part by the man who requested it, Michael Baker. Michael, thank you so much for your time and support, and really, between you and Tomoya, thank you for showing me Psionics Unleashed, and more specifically on Tomoya's part, the power of the soul knife, because oh my god, that class is really good. So in Greek mythology, the Maenads were the female followers of Dionysus, the god of wine and partying and stuff, and the most significant members of the god's retinue, the Theosis. The name literally translates as raving ones. Often they were portrayed as inspired by Dionysus into a state of ecstatic frenzy through a combination of dancing and intoxication. In Paizo's stuff, the Maenad appears in Bestiary 4 as a CR8 monster, which can conjure a supernatural feast, is poisonous, and can confuse you with its dances. Also, this thing is immune to calm emotions. Yeah, that's a pretty scary, chaotic, evil, dancey thing. But what we're here to talk about today is Psionics Unleashed. In that book, the Maenads are a primarily seafaring race. To outsiders, they appear to be extremely reserved, yet they're rumored to be an exceptionally emotional race. Both sides of this coin are actually true. As a race, the Maenads must maintain control over their internal emotional turmoil, except for when they unleash these bottled up emotions in powerful displays. Maenads are born with these terrible raging emotions inside them. Their legends speak of being wronged by an ancient deity that the Maenads revolted against, which resulted in this emotional curse that they suffer. Maenads stand about the same size as half-orcs. A male Maenad is usually equal in height, but slightly heavier than females. That means our male Maenad might weigh anywhere from 164 to 318 pounds, with the female coming in at 124 to 278 pounds. A Maenad comes of age at 40 years old as far as max age goes. We're not sure. I can't find it on the SRD anywhere. If you happen to know, hey, throw it in the comments. Maenads have thick, dark hair on their heads, but lack any other hair on their body. Instead, their skin is covered in flecks of sparkling crystals, which gives them a strange sparkle. The coloration of these crystals define the look for each individual Maenad, ranging from pale white to jet black, and many believe the coloration is determined by their most powerful emotion. Maenads are naturally graceful, and they have fine features. Think something along the lines of elf-like beauty. Most Maenad villages tend to be no larger than a few hundred people. Many Maenads turn to tradition and ritual as ways to control their emotions. In some villages, this ritualization can take over, where every aspect of life is defined by a ritual that must be followed, although this sort of extreme situation is uncommon among the race as a whole. Down to the character sheet, a Maenad receives a +2 to 1 ability score, chosen like a human or a half-orc to represent a varied nature. They're medium creatures with a base speed of 30 feet, and they gain the Wild Talent feat as a bonus feat at first level. If the Maenad takes levels in a psionic class, they instead gain the Psionic Talent feat. A Maenad comes out with the following Psi-like ability, which is a spell-like ability just for psionics. Energy Ray once per day. They can only deal sonic damage with this ability. It's accompanied by a tremendous Scream of Rage. The manifester level is equal to half their hit dice. The DC is equal to 10 plus the power's level, plus the Maenad's charisma modifier, and the Maenad adds 1 to the DC of any spell or power with the sonic descriptor, aka their psionic power that they get racially. Maenads have a fun little ability called Outburst, which allows them to dampen their mental processes for an increase in raw power. As a result, they take a -2 to their intelligence and wisdom, but they gain a +2 to their strength. The Maenad has to spend 1 power point, and Wild Talent gets him 2 each round during the outburst, and he can stop it as a free action. Should the Maenad have an ability to rage, they are able to rage 1 additional round per day, and they gain an additional round per day of rage every odd character level. In addition to using these for rage, a Maenad may also use them to fuel their outburst instead of power points. So essentially the race as a whole can Barbarian Rage for a little while. I'm not necessarily worried about this one because in my games I usually tend to ignore it, especially since the advent of the Blood Rager, but a Maenad may take levels in the Barbarian class, even if they are of lawful alignment. They also have a +2 bonus to swim and profession sailor checks. In addition, they gain a +2 to acrobatics and climb checks made on sailing ships. A Maenad is always proficient with flails. They treat any weapon with the word Maenad in the name as a martial weapon rather than an exotic one. And when they take a level in a favored class, they can choose to gain an additional power point instead of a hit point or skill point, again, to fuel your outburst. So yeah, this race is entirely new to me, and really so too are things like Mind Blades and all of the psionic stuff, because I've never really thought about it. I've said this before and I'll say it again, it's kind of ironic now that I'm at the closing days of Pathfinder 1st Edition how open I've suddenly become to third-party things. If I were to use the Maenads in my world, they would be a very Greek, very seafaring people. I'm talking break out the triremes, break out your phalanx fighters, break out the ballistas, break out the hydras and pegasi and minotaurs and all of that. These guys are just the ones that are a little smarter and leading the thing. There is a Greek setting in Pathfinder. It's known as Iblados, and it's just a little bit east of the Inner Sea. That's probably where I'd have these guys come from. And really, that's probably the place in Pathfinder, maybe tied with Arcadia, that I'd like to see a full guide for in the future. Fingers crossed on that one. Now, Maenad players, the first thing that's worth pointing out is that Maenads can be barbarians and be lawful. Of course, I think if you're playing third party, your GM is already willing to let that go and let your barbarian be lawful anyway. But if he's not, there it is right there. And if you decide not to play a barbarian, you still have Outburst. Sure, it hurts your will save, but it doesn't hurt your armor class. Essentially, the fighter, the rogue, the ranger, all of the above, all kind of have this little mini rage, and I'll take it. Psionic stuff is also a whole lot of fun. A lot of the stuff is really, really strong. It's really, really fun. It's really, really flavorful. And these guys are built to go right into it. They get wild talent for free if they already had wild talent, and they will if they're playing psionic classes. They get psionic talent, which is 2 more power points. It's really powerful. It's a whole lot of fun, and really it's something you probably haven't seen at your tables if you've been staying away from third party. All the more reason for me to sign off on it. But what do you guys think about the Maenad, or even really third party content in general at your tables? Do you allow it? Do you ban it outright? Have you ever made any yourself you'd like to share with us? And if so, throw it in the comments, because I love more Pathfinder content personally. Don't forget, guys, our Doomsday Dawn giveaway is live right now, and it's been funded. 6 subscribers to this channel will run through the Doomsday Dawn adventure path. To enter, follow this card right here. Remember, patronage does grant you a second entry, and hey, we're not allowing third party in this stuff just because I'm not as aware of it and I want to keep it as balanced as I can. But if you like first edition, we are sending Pathfinder first edition off with a tournament. If you'd like to roll up that Drow Noble and have it fight a Centaur or a Trox or a Gargoyle, all of that super fun stuff, for the glory of Paizo Productions, follow this card right up here. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next episode of the Forgotten Race Review, where we cover another patron request, the Wyvarin, drops next Monday.